Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. 4-0 to Chelsea in the FA Cup against Preston at Stamford Bridge. Could have been more. So much to tell in the story of this game. First half, not so good. Second half, good. Goals from Armando Broja, Raheem Sterling, Thiago Silva, and Enzo Fernandez. Lots of goals to get into. First of all, you probably noticed how I'm not in the studio. Back in there tomorrow for tomorrow's video, seeing as I'm recording in the evening. Generally, if I record in the evening, I'm going to be here recording in my living room. But hopefully, the quality's good enough and it's a bit more of a casual, conversational format, which many of you prefer, but not all of you. I mean, I love recording in the studio and doing these edits again. So, thank you to everyone who's been supporting the content of late. And drop a like on the video if you're feeling good, man. And like always, if you're interested in the content, you are welcome to subscribe. But if you choose to do so, you should hit the bell notifications icon. All right then, there's so much to crack into this game. Pochettino went strong. I nearly got a lot of the lineup wrong. I thought Enzo wouldn't start. I thought Gallagher would start in a double pivot. I did, I believe, get the back four right. I said if Martson wasn't to be used to say protect him for a transfer, I got the back four correct, but I didn't get it in the right order, which is a bit silly of me, really. Of course, Preston played a 3-4-2-1 formation. Preston are a relatively middling championship side that have been underperforming a little bit of late, but brought a lot of fans with them into the shed at Stamford Bridge. They got a good support. And, you know, anything can happen here. Chelsea have got a semi-final to think about in a few days' time. And, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, you know, they would have fancied this, Preston, maybe, because it's not Wigan against United. I think Wigan are a division lower as well. They would have thought, maybe we can catch them cold here. And in the first half, there were moments when you thought, I never really felt worried. I know I saw people all over social media losing their minds. Excuse me. I never actually got worried. I was like, yeah, something needs to change, but... you know, I feel like we can do this. And lo and behold, we did it. So Petrovic stayed in goal. Georgia Petrovic continuing his good form. We will talk about player performances, as always, in a few minutes. Gusto started off at... he played at left back, sorry. So he played at left back. And then Levi Colwill and Disasi partnered at centre back. And Alfie Gilchrist played at right back. Now, I had... in my head, should Martson not play, I had Gusto at left back, Levi at left centre back, and then Gilchrist in the middle, and then Disasi on the right, because Disasi's played at right back. But then I thought, actually, in these like fleeting last minutes when Pochettino's throwing Alfie Gilchrist on, he's throwing him on as a right back. Pochettino just loves a centre back at full back. Anyway, so that completed our back four. They played pretty darn well, you'd have to say. We saw the very expensive double pivot of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. I mean, just one of them would have cost more than the Preston team, I'm assuming, let alone both of them in that midfield. Now, we played a front four, so it was a 4-2-3-1. Cole Palmer played in very much a free role in the number 10. He was flanked by Raheem Sterling on the right and Mykhailo Mudryk on the left, behind Armando Broja. And the first half, let's just talk about the first half. I mean, holistically, right, we can look at the statistics, and we can look at it in the first half as well. So in the first half, we had 65% possession, 5 shots, 3 on target, which isn't awful. Only 1 corner. But yeah, they were sort of in the game. They had a couple of shots themselves, 2 on target. We only had 3 on target. But in the second half, we really turned it on. We had 76% possession in the second half. And bearing in mind the first half, we only had 65. And we had 19 shots. So in the first half, we had 5. In the second half, we had 19 shots, 9 of which were on target. Now, a lot of this was largely down to Preston getting tired, their heads dropping a little bit when we got the goal, but it was, you know, worlds apart. So maybe the manager got into him, credit to them. But it was very, very frustrating going in 0-0 at halftime. I did, as always, a halftime Instagram live on my Instagram, which is @FootballYannick. If you're interested in following me there, @FootballYannick. The name of my second YouTube channel, also being @FootballYannick. And yeah, people were actually fuming. I was pretty chill. I said get Mudryk off, move Sterling over to the left, and bring Noni Madueke on. That was like my main thing. And this was nothing against Mudryk. I mean, I don't think Mudryk was good, but I didn't... It's not his game, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're playing against a back five at home, so they're sitting in a deep block, and Mudryk loves to run into space. You know, he didn't do anything. I think people was maybe giving him some grief, but I don't think he was particularly bad. I just think it's not the game for him. And Sterling, yes, frustrated, but he frustrates because he frustrates because he's not Eden Hazard, and Chelsea fans are going to be like, do Eden Hazard things. But he's the senior attacker that was actually just constantly posing questions. And it's a little bit of a Nico Jackson of him, where you get frustrated because they're messing things up, but they're actually doing quite well to get in the position to mess things up. You just want them to be perfect all the time. But Raheem Sterling plays better on the left than the right. Of course, that first half, he was very frustrating on the right, but I didn't want to take him off. I wanted to move him over to the left, which I believe, he did towards the end, and Noni came on, of course. Cole Palmer as the free number 10, given the license to essentially do what he wants, because we kind of we create a back four and a box four, the box being Enzo, Caicedo, Sterling and Mudryk for the best of time, with Cole roaming and Armando. In that first half, bro, someone that was catching the most heat of all the attackers was Armando Bria. And we were having like an existential crisis, a philosophical talk about, what is Bria. And I said I can't blame him for what's going on. I said also that he needs to play as a central centre forward. I'll regurgitate the same opinion. He obviously had a really good loan at Southampton, but he was playing in a transitional side where he had a strike partner. I use the example of Ivan Toney. Like, everyone's sure Ivan Toney's the solution to their problems. I think he'd be good for them. I've said I'd wanted him before. I would take Ivan Toney, but the concern remains that Ivan Toney played for Brentford in a two-striker system where you hit on the brake very devastatingly in a high-octane fashion. Now, Toney's 28 years old. He's very confident. I'm not saying he couldn't do other things, but you put him in a team like Arsenal, who they're going to say, right, stay in the middle, like a centre forward, and we're going to have loads of the ball. How's he going to deal with that? Do you know what I mean? Whereas a Victor Osimhen, playing for Napoli, he plays as a lone striker in a team that would like to keep the ball. So I realise I've gone off on a tangent here, but it is relative, because Breuer has his Premier League experience hasn't been as this lone striker for a team that keep the ball. But Chelsea really rate Breuer. You've had people at the club hear great things about how he trains. That he's ridiculously quick, he's strong, he's ruthless. He's meant to have a ruthless edge to him. That's why at times he was compared to Diego Costa a little bit in terms of play style. But he sort of wasn't involved in the game at all in that first half. But, the game wasn't going well. And you maybe credit to the manager, Mauricio Pochettino, who didn't make any halftime changes. So he didn't say, you're bad, you're getting off, mate. He kept him on. In fact, I didn't believe he made any changes until over an hour. So he really gave him a good crack. And the goal came about 12 minutes into the second half. Of course, Gusto, who not as strong on the left-hand side, assisted Armando Breuer for a great header. And really, this was the crucial goal. It might not have been the best goal, but it was the most crucial goal, because that just changed everything. Preston probably thought, you get a replay, can't you? Take them back to their gaff or whatever. I think you get replays in FA Cups. That was probably their plan, or try and nick one at the end. And, when we inevitably start panicking, oh, God, profligate Chelsea can't score a goal again. And we're all freaking out. Oh, God, we've let them in. They've scored. Shame upon us. Do you know what I mean? That's probably what they were banking on a little bit. But the goal changes that. So shout out Breuer. He looks really happy. Albanian and Elka rise. And he looked really happy. And he nearly scored. Another great header, but seconds after that first one, God, that would have been a real 1-2 punch from the young striker. But yeah, he looked really happy. He looked bummed to come off, actually, which was 76th minute. But, you haven't got to start for a while. You got best part of 80 minutes. You scored the important goal. He looked a bit bummed, and Pochettino gave him a little playful slap, come on, mate. Well done. You helped us. You'll get more chances. Jackson's at AFCON. He's probably thinking, I needed to score 2, and now they're going to sign that freaking geezer that was at Coventry and now's knocking about wherever he is, the Scandinavian striker. Anyway, we're not in the studio right now. This isn't a Chelsea news video. Let's move on. Yeah, man. So, yes, great goal by Armando Bria, and that started changes. Obviously, that was a catalyst because it was a couple of minutes later. Potter was like, right, okay, we got the goal. Let's change things around. He takes off Alfie Gilchrist on the 61st minute to bring on Thiago Silva. So I think he just probably pushes Disasi out to the right and brings Silva in to keep the one goal lead safe. I said this before, he's often like the school teacher trying to keep all the kindergarten children having a sugar rush calm or organised, regimented, as much as one can with this Chelsea team, right, mate? So he brings on Silva, like, chill this, lock this down, bro. And then takes off Mudryk and brings on Madueke. So, yeah, it's like I said, Sterling moves over to the left where he's more comfortable. Noni will play on the right and Cole will just remain in the hole. That rhymed, which he did. We see changes from Preston. And, yeah, a few minutes later, Thiago Silva, in fact, 5 minutes on being on the pitch, cold Palmer, and this is, the fact that he just got another assist is probably a little bit under the wire here. Gets himself another assist. I think it's a corner. Puts on O Monstro's head, who dunks it, and for 2-0. So not only did Pochettino probably bring on Thiago Silva to ensure we get this over the line, he ensured we get over the line with that goal, mate. You got to say, absolutely sickening defending from the Preston point of view. The fact how he literally just does like a sort of moonwalk spin. He didn't do any of that, but he just grooves into the near post completely uncontested as an obvious goal threat from a set piece, which is a sickener for Preston fans, but you're already losing at that point. If that was like a 95th minute winner, you'd be annoyed, but we're already winning. A great header, look, some great shots of him mid-air. He got some good height. This dude's in his 40s, like I said on my Instagram, he's in his 40th year of life, and he's out here dunking for Chelsea Football Club. Just sensational scenes. And mate, 3 minutes later, so it's 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we score 3 goals. 3 minutes later, Raheem Sterling scores that free kick. Where's he got these from, by the way? That's his second, super free kick goal of the season. Raheem Sterling is not synonymous with free kick super goals. He's synonymous with, good energy, fruity dribbling style, diving often, scoring quite a lot of goals, being a consummate professional. So you mixed bag there. And apparently Golazzo's from dead balls. Obviously he goes near post, gets over the wall, quite close, but so it comes up and down. It's not top bins, but it's far enough over so the goalkeeper just can't get it. It's a great I don't know what I'm trying to it's a great goal from Raheem. And that is the you're done out here, boys goal, isn't it? In the 69th minute. And you think, all right, we're gonna do bits now. And Pochettino does just that. He takes out Bria, and that's where Bria looks pretty bummed. He probably feels like this is an opportunity for him to get a brace or something. David Washington comes on, which is nice. We've seen him come on before for Poch. Very, very late when we're losing, though. This is a different experience for him to run around when we're winning, which is good to see. Yes, we see Palmer come off. Of course, we got an assist for Thiago Silva, which essentially was the goal that really made us comfortable. Conor Gallagher comes on, who we were resting essentially because even though he would probably want to play every second of every game, he comes on just to sort of run about a bit. He plays well. And then Enzo Fernandez, thanks to a 4-minute VAR, no, it was more than 4 minutes, I swear. VAR check. Assist Raheem Sterling. It says assist Raheem Sterling here, but I don't think Raheem knew much about it. But Enzo Fernandez gets another goal this season. What, 3rd goal this season? Maybe 4th? Maybe to get another one in the cup? I don't know. Still, Enzo's plodding along nicely. If he can get into double digits for goals this season, he'll see that as a great start to his his first full campaign for Chelsea, of course, joining mid-season last campaign. If he gets to double digits in his first full season, not bad. Few assists in there. Learns how to play with Moises Caicedo will be laughing. Big talking point as well is Golding coming on, the young lad, Michael Golding, who is a under 18s midfielder, 17 years old, been playing really, really well. Nearly scored very, very early, advancing from midfield, running onto a ball and just sort of passes it to the goalkeeper. Very much looks like a kid who was just not ready for that, and not he's not ready for the game, but for that moment. But yeah, he's smiling, great moment, and it's essentially testament to Pochettino. He is thinking about certain youngsters. He is looking at them. I know, like, people were thinking, where are these, like, Castledines and Matoses? Why aren't they coming on and featuring? Apparently because they're being, like, earmarked for loans and stuff. But it does look like Pochettino is thinking about these kids, which is important, I think. We move, ladies and gentlemen, early doors in the FA Cup. Player performances, I thought Georgia Petrovic was very good. I know he wasn't up to against much, but he made a couple of good saves. Very, very, very dominating claim, which as a Chelsea fan, we haven't seen too much from keepers in the last few years. So whenever I see a goalkeeper really just come out confidently, take it in when he has to contest it a little bit, but makes it look uncontested, that's very positive. Petrovic quietly going behind by his business, quietly percolating in the background. And then, see what happens. Keeps playing well. Chelsea number 1, who knows? Gusto was good, not his best, but that's fine. He got better towards the end. The centre-backs were great. To be honest, all the defenders were good. Colwill, certainly very good in the first half, showing moments. Disasi, fine. Gilchrist, for all the minutes he's on, this is he's 20 years old, so he's not like, a Golding. But he's still, this is his first team experience, so taking it well. He got a start, he did well, he looked, he wasn't bummed to come off, it was still a clean sheet. He's really, really passionate and doesn't look out of place at all, which is the biggest compliment you can pay the lad. Caicedo, he was one of the brightest sparks in a very turgid first half, and in the second half we turned it on. I wasn't going, oh, look at Moises Caicedo, because it wasn't that kind of like passages of play, but yeah, fine. Enzo got the goal. I think Enzo was really bad, actually, for a long time. Misplaced passes, like uncharacteristically bad. He's a very, 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 very good player. Uncharacteristically bad, but as the game settled, so he obviously getting a goal, like I said earlier, would do him good. And hopefully he can get more. Cole Palmer, not his best game. He was being in the beginning, certainly the first half, he had a couple of man put on him. That's why he came so deep to receive the ball. Obviously, he was allowed to do that, given license being a totally free number 10. But got an assist. It wasn't his best day. He got an assist. Of course, he had that moment where he took a ball down with an amazing touch. Looked really cool, like doing his signature Cole Palmer style of play, and then didn't have the finish. I don't know how much of a sitter it was, if it was a sitter at all, if it was a hard goal to score, but fine. Another assist, another goal involvement, another day for Cole Palmer. Mudryk wasn't the game for him. I'm looking on SofaScore here. He's got the lowest. No, he's not. He's got the second lowest rating for a Chelsea player that started. Interestingly, behind Armando Broja, who got a goal and forced a save, which is interesting. But yeah, it wasn't the game for Mudryk, and that's totally fine. Raheem Sterling, frustrating. But again, even if you take away, of course, he got an assist. Okay, so he's had 2 goal involvements out of the 4. So even if you take away that wonder free kick, which I believe he probably won anyway, forgive me if I'm wrong, it might have been Mudryk, but he played. You can see why you start him. If you're a manager of Chelsea, you're looking at all these players and you're looking at the constant fitness level and just the intelligence to be in the right place to get involved all the time. This is the kind of stuff we don't think about, or I don't want to speak for you, but I often don't think about. And then you look at it and think about it, and you're like, actually, yeah, he's always on the ball, he's always demanding, he's always getting the ball, demanding it. Yeah, he's a bit divey around the box and thinks that he should be given everything, but he's there. He's there and he's always involved. He's not a passenger. And no one's ever going to say Raheem Sterling's a passenger in a game. And that's a massive compliment, bro. That really, really is. People would need to appreciate that more. If I was still on Twitter, I'd tweet that, who knows, I might post it on my Instagram. And Broja up top, he got his goal. He was not involved in the game at all. And yes, that's part of his teammates' fault. And that's part of his fault as well. It's his responsibility to find a way to get involved. Substitutes, Noni nearly got a great goal. Looked good. Thiago Silva looked great. Connor looks good. David Washington was a passenger, I think, but you can't judge him on that. And the lad Michael Golding getting his debut, getting a moment at Stamford Bridge, making that run to go onto that ball, did well. So I put out to you guys, what do you think? How do you feel about this game? 4-0 against Preston at home is pretty much like, what you'd expect. We'll see what we get next. Hopefully by the time we have the next round of the FA Cup, we'll be more settled as a team. We'll have more players returning from injury. We'll know a little bit more how we're playing philosophically, and we'll know where the FA Cup is in our priorities. Have we flown up the league by then? Are we pushing for top 5? Are we in the final of the Carabao Cup? So many things to consider. But I thank you for joining me. Daily videos, of course, back in the studio tomorrow to film and edit a proper edited Chelsea news video. So keep it locked. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.